Yeah, so here's the deal. Here's the whole deal with this is that reality is you. Reality is your internal state of being. If you're worried about this, that, or what people think, you're worried about reality. You're coming out of God into the illusion. The whole point of what I've been trying to say is that God is here, you are God, God is all that is. And therefore, through this organism in the body mind that consciousness has created perfectly, because it's all that there is perfectness, this system can then look back at its source, and this is how consciousness recognizes itself in the densest realm of reality. When you give your power to yourself and you take the power away from everyone else, if you're living with a nasty, disgusting creature and you move out, you cut that thing out of your life, you cut a nasty creature out of your life, boom, automatically the frequency is going to be up. Because why? Because you had a nasty creature waking you up with nastiness, just being fucking horrible. So you get that out, boom, it's all your internal state. And the external state can influence your internal state until your internal state realizes that there's only the internal state, and then therefore you internal state out of it. You internal state so much that you vibrate out of the frequency that you don't align with, so much that you literally physically crystallize that frequency, and therefore now you're moving out, we could say. Reality is the internal state. If you remain in the internal state, you push out through the internal state, you remain in God, and you do not give power to the world, you're going to be chilling. It's not because like, oh, I'm working together, being chilling. No, you already are chilling. You know you're already chilling. It's the world that makes it so you're not chilling. So you see through the world. You are already chilling. You understand you're already chilling. So I'm talking about like, now you get to live in chilling. Now you get to be chilling. Dude, if you have someone waking you up, just, ooh, you see, that affects your frequency. Okay, that affects your frequency. That also is a perfect for you. Is so great for you because you also get to transcend that negative frequency, so that when you are in peace, you're able to appreciate the peace, understand the peace, and live in the fullness of that peace. Okay. Life is your internal state. Life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. Okay, make lemonade with your duality, and then make sure you transcend it through understanding it, and you understand the number line of ignorance and awareness, God and illusion, God and the world. Okay, truth, source, and then lies and illusion of the world. Okay, if you're living in truth, nothing can lie to you. When you know the truth of something, like a nasty creature, then guess what? All that nasty creature can do is project it out into the world. That's all they have. That's all they have is to project it out into the world. They're a nasty creature. Everyone knows what the source is to that creature. You know it, they know it. All they're going to do is project it into the world because they can't face it. It's not them. It's literally their CPU is capped out. There's an unconscious aspect that cannot see their own contradiction. And therefore, when a contradiction arises within them and it's put right in their face, their lizard brain switches from good, instead of bad, or good, lizard brain. It's an unconscious thing, lizard brain, good. And then it goes to its own fantasy land and starts living in fantasy land in contradiction because it cannot see its own contradiction. And the CPU is capped out, and that's what you need to understand with most people, with some people, with a lot of people. It doesn't fucking matter what the word is. With people, when they don't understand, when they can't face their contradictions, and then therefore they try and make your life worse. They try and make their contradictions reality because they're trying to lie into truth. You're not gonna fucking put up with that shit. You're gonna get out of that fucking shit. All they can do is project their lies because they don't live in truth. They live in lies. Don't get mad at someone in a wheelchair who calls you gay. Same reason you don't get mad at someone who's been, had a hard life and calls you gay. They're mentally ill. The other guy's physically ill. They're both insecure and mad. Okay? They're just down bad. It's fine. You can't see it. You think, oh, they're just a jerk. Bah. Okay? Nah. You don't want to just. Okay, you don't want to throw that out because it's not nice to hit and beat up an ill person, whether it be mentally or physically. You need to understand this. A lot of the nastiest people have had nasty experiences and they never really transcended that. We're transcending that. You understand the number line of ignorance and awareness. You understand why they are the way they are, and you pierce through their veil and get to a higher frequency of understanding. Everything is within God. God is all understanding. So all ignorance within God is allowed by God, and therefore God is all tolerant. All tolerant. The biggest test of how close you are to God is your tolerance for ignorance. Now, you're not going to put up with it, but you're going to tolerate it and you're going to understand it. You're understanding the tolerance, the understanding. You're not going to put up with it, but there's an understanding and therefore a tolerance, because it is in fact ignorance. What does ignorance mean? It means ignorance. It means lack of awareness. So there is simply a lack of awareness. They can't get mad at that. Whether no how horribly they try and contradict themselves, and therefore try and contradict reality and try and make their fantasy land reality by projecting it. This is simply mental illness, and you must see through this. You must see through this, and therefore transcend that level of awareness that they are, and transcend that with a higher level of awareness. So therefore, it is within you. You are God, and it is within you. It is under you. It is now you are tolerating that. You are the God of that, because you're on a higher frequency, closer to the source than that ignorant frequency that is more tuned to the world and the illusion. This is simply it. Simply it. This is simply life. Life is your internal state. Don't care about what other people think. Now here's a principle. Watch my other video. Last video before this one, I talked about the feminine principle being all that is. You see, if you're awesome, guys are going to be insecure, and they're going to try and make you feel insecure. Okay? Now listen. Why? Because you're going to get the bitches. They want to get to you first before you get the fucking bitches. That's what it is. They want to get to you first and make you feel bad before you steal all their fucking bitches. Steal their fucking bitches like I am. Steal their fucking bitches. Steal all of their fucking bitches. What does this mean? It means when you're fully authentic, girls in the feminine energy is going to be more attracted to you. Why? Because the feminine energy is the principle of the universe. It is the universe itself. Therefore, if the universe sees you as attractive, a female is going to see you as attractive, and an insecure male is going to be insecure towards you and try and make you feel less than, try and peg you down. You can't just fucking destroy him with your fucking Muay Thai. You have to understand this is literally fucking mental illness. Literally mental illness. Literally an ignorant frequency. Literally lower than you on the number line of ignorance and awareness, and you must have compassion and tolerance for them, as God is all forgiving. You are coming back closer to your source, so therefore you embody the principles and the virtues that are the source. Therefore you are closer to God. Therefore there is no self or other. You understand existence is only existence. Okay. When you get to a point like that, you're on such a high frequency, you're fucking chilling. When you're not getting woken up by a nasty creature and you're allowed to be in your full authenticity and be in a peace, just be in love, that is, your cup is full. Therefore, you'll have tolerance for ignorance. Therefore, you will have more cup to put into others' cups. And therefore, maybe even perhaps the ignorant will become aware just because, not because you want them to be, but because you are a high frequency. Simply on the number line of frequency, the high frequency is going to make the low frequency jump up a little bit. It's just a spike in frequency. It's going to turn into a spiky frequency, and it's going to spike up a little bit. It's going to nudge up on the number line ever so slightly. Now, no matter what that looks like on the number line of ignorant and aware, God and illusion, that is going to be a positive effect. Whether they appear to do something that's worse off in the world to the world, if they're worse off, they're doing something mean or bad, doesn't matter. On the number line, their awareness has gone positive instead of remain negative in ignorance. This is all ignorance and awareness. God is all that is. This is God, and then the illusion of the world. Okay, but it's all made out of God. There must be a truth in every lie, and the illusion must come from something that is true. The illusion is the world. The truth is God, which is oneness, full true oneness. This is a dream realm, whatever you want to call it. It is consciousness. Is it all that is God. The closer you are to that, the more you embody virtue, the more you embody what is called virtue, but what is really closer to God, which is really having more understanding, more awareness, broader awareness. This is all it is, ignorance and awareness. Have a beautiful day. I love you, because love is God. Love is all that is. There is only oneness. So the fact that I can say I love you is the ultimate I love you is the ultimate God telling itself it loves it, it appreciates itself. I love you is the highest form of existence. Okay, this is why people adore their children, because they've created their children. God creates this experience. You create this experience. God creates. There's no self or other. There's God. And this God, this word God that I'm using is God. It isn't just whatever you think. It's not what the Bible. It is what the Bible says. Listen. God is all that is. Anything that is God. Which means that your human understanding is ignorant and dense and particleized because God has created it. We could say your higher self, the higher self, the only thing that exists, the intelligence of all that is. Do you see how the limited human language and comprehension is limited and more dense than the thing that was able to manifest it? Therefore, we could say the truth of our nature is beyond this realm and therefore beyond the comprehension to the human, but there is still something there that is this source. This is why you have the right hemisphere of the brain, which is the intuition side of your brain, the intuitive side of your brain, the understanding side of your brain, and the left side of your brain, the logic side of your brain, the masculine side of your brain, that is in charge of simply and utterly and only deciphering the reality. The left side of the brain, the masculine principle, is simply and utterly only for deciphering the illusion of reality. Therefore, the feminine principle of existence itself, that is the right hemisphere of the brain, is therefore existence itself, and that is the closest thing we can say to all that is. To get a picture of what God truly is, it is all that is. It is beyond comprehension to the human brain or mind, and it may be not, but to the average human being, the best way to point it out is to say that God is all that is. Therefore, then that triggers maybe something in you that'll start waking up. The more you wake up, the less you need to prove anything. We could say in deep sleep, when there's no duality whatsoever, there's nothing to prove and there's only existence, and there's nothing to prove that there is existence. Therefore, we could say with the human brain, the low, dense, ignorant brain, we could say nothing exists. Because all that this brain knows is duality, because duality is necessary for experience, otherwise there would only be existence / non-existence. Therefore, that non-existence / existence must be created into duality to then experience itself and be like, ha ha, I exist. But there's this necessary contradiction of needing to affirm it for it to be real. But in truth, that is not the truth. There is only what it is. There is no need to affirm it. But the duality of experience requires affirmation, requires duality, requires the truth and then the illusion. It requires a balance. It requires you to get woken up by a nasty creature to then therefore push and create a diamond with the pressure that of the duality that is. So in truth, when you die, all the bodies, all the layers come off, and you remember that is all that is God. And do you remember? No. It is beyond remembering, it is beyond comprehension, it is simply subjective experience if we're going to talk in human terms. But once one subjective experience becomes objective, there is now a contradiction. So have a beautiful day. I love you. Have a beautiful day. I love you.